Hey guys, Dan Frio, the Mortgage Update here, and today we want to talk about credit scores and how we're going to work together to get your credit scores from 400, 500 to maybe over 800 with six maybe simple little tweaks that I'm going to walk you through step by step. And this doesn't even take any money to do that, other than one piece of the puzzle that I want you to do. I want you to invest maybe like $20 or $30. And here's what I mean by that. And here's why. We need to get a benchmark on your credit scores. So before we get started, if you like this video and a lot of the other videos I put together, please don't forget to subscribe below. And also, if you would, give me a thumbs up so I know that I'm doing a good job. Or if you want to, also leave a thumbs down in the comments and tell me what I'm doing or not doing right and what you'd like to see. So also at the end of this video, I'm going to give you two pieces of this big puzzle. One is going to be how you can get a copy of a free credit report. It's not a gimmick. It's not a trick. The CFPB has announced that you are entitled to a free credit report each year. But the $30 I was talking about is going to place a benchmark or give us a lot of tools that we're going to use in these few tricks that I'm going to show you on how to get your credit scores up. We could probably get you up 100 or 200 points within 30 days. Okay. The other thing is, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a company that can help you with if you have collections, judgments, false information on your credit report, miscellaneous information on there that just shouldn't be there. If you're a junior or a senior and you have the other person's information on there, it's a full-time job getting a lot of this stuff fixed, corrected, and things like that. So it might be a little small investment that you have to take if you hit any of those categories. To invest in to get that cleaned up. And they can usually have you cleaned up within 90 days. So let's get on to it. Here are some of the big tricks, or a few huge tricks that I'm going to give you on what I need you to do. Even if you have a 700 credit score, these little tactics that I'm going to give you, I won't say tricks, we'll reference them as tactics. I'm going to give you some tactics to do to increase your credit scores. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing, this is where I want to start the benchmark. Okay, I want you to get a copy of your actual credit report with your FICO scores. Okay, I'm going to emphasize your FICO scores and why. And I'll put some other videos together to go over that with you. But your FICO score is the score that most lenders, almost all lenders, use in categories such as mortgages and cars to grant you credit or not. It's not your Credit Karma score, believe it or not. Credit Karma score is not used by any lenders, period. It's an educational tool or an educational number to give you just some information or teach you about the credit scoring system. Okay, so what I want to do is I want you to get an actual credit report with FICO scores, and that's going to give us the benchmark and give us a lot of details that we're going to need in regards to these tactics that we're going to go through. Okay, one of the things that a lot of people ask me is, or tell me not to do, is pull their credit because they had another lender pull their credit. And by me pulling their credit, it's going to hurt their credit scores or drop their credit scores. Wrong. I'm a mortgage broker in Chicago, and I have been for over 29 years. And I get that comment quite a bit. So how the algorithms read in the credit bureau system is, if you're buying a car or a mortgage, they're expecting you to have multiple pulls within a short period of time. Okay, so if you have a couple lenders pull your credit within a week or two, you're not going to be affected. If you went to another company and they pulled your credit 3 days ago and I pulled yours today, we'd most likely get exactly the same score unless some creditor posted information during that time frame. Okay, so that's one of the things I want to go over. So let's get on to one of the biggest pieces of this puzzle is your balance and the high credit limit that you have. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. When we get that credit report, that I listed it down below. Go ahead and order it. It should be $20, $30. And I want you to get all 3 credit repositories. That's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Okay, we want to get those. Here's why. I want you to go through the revolving accounts that you have, and I can show you how to do that. Maybe what I'll do in another video is I'll get a credit report and kind of black out a lot of the sections so you can't see the person's account numbers, and we'll go through that. But I want you to go through your revolving credit accounts and see your high credit limit. Okay, here's why. Let's say, for example, you have a high credit limit of $200. And you went to, let's say it was Walmart, and you went to Walmart this weekend and bought groceries and bought gas, and you used $180 of it. Let's make it simple. You used $200. You maxed out, and it's not that hard to do when you're buying groceries and gasoline. So now you have a $200 credit limit, and you just racked up a $200 bill at Walmart. Okay, so we're maxed out. We owe 100% of what we owe. Or I take that back, on our high credit limit. So our high credit limit's 200, we owe 200. Okay? Here's what I want you to do. Go through all the revolving accounts you have, call each one of them, and ask for the highest limit you can get. What I'm not saying is go out and spend that. Okay? I don't want you to get into any more debt. Here's the tactic that we're going after. Okay, we owe $200 on that account. Now Walmart, say in this example, they increased your line to $1,000. Okay, you went from owing 100% now to 20% of your high credit limit. You're going to pick up points. Now, it might be a substantial amount of points. Let's say you have 5, 6, 7 cards, and every one of them does that. You're going to pick up a lot of points by doing nothing other than getting your factual credit report, calling the accounts that you have now. You didn't go into any more debt on those accounts. You just got your credit limits increased. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, what I want you to do is start paying your account, whatever you can, or whatever you would have paid anyways. I want you to start paying it a couple weeks early. Here's why. When that creditor reports your information to the credit bureau, it revolves around a cycle, or your billing cycle. Okay, so if you wait till the last piece of that billing cycle, when they're going to shoot out another cycle on you, another bill on you, let's say, for example, the billing cycle goes from 15th to 15th. Okay, so whatever your balance is, probably midnight of the 14th, is what that balance is going to show on your next statement, as well as the credit report. Okay, however, we pay that account off or way down a week or 2 early. Now what's coming up is when they report to the bureau on that billing cycle date, instead of it having, that your payment not being posted yet, your payment has been posted. So now instead of you owing maybe $200 on that Walmart account, you paid it a week or 2 early. Now that balance is 0. You just picked up another huge amount of points by just paying your account back maybe a week or 2 early. Okay, so those are 2 big tactics that you want to do. Okay, so let's say that you can't get any of your credit lines increased. Another big tool or tactic you can use is called piggyback. Ask your mom, dad, brother, sister, somebody if they would allow you to become an authorized user on their account. They might not even give you a credit card on that account, but ask them to put you on the account, and they can take you off at any time with one simple phone call to that creditor. That then will now represent on your credit report all the history they have, and make sure that that person has great credit on that particular account as well. What you might want to do also is check with let's say your mom or dad does this for you. See if they know if that creditor reports to the credit bureaus, because if they don't, it's really irrelevant. But if they do, that's a big piece of that. That's a big step to take. Okay, so that's that. New accounts. one of the myths, I guess, about new accounts is a lot of people think that, if I go out there and get a new account, it's going to automatically drop my credit rating. It might, but in most cases, it's not going to be, or not going to be dramatic. You need to have a variety of credit. So a good scenario is a credit card, a car loan, a student loan, a mortgage if you can get a mortgage, a finance company and things like that. You don't want to just have 2 visas. You want to apply at a variety of stores. You want maybe a MasterCard, a Visa, a Walmart account, a car loan. These are things to build up as you're young and as you go through time. So those are areas you want to get a variety of accounts. Now, I just watched a video of a young man who said he had, I think, like 200 or 300 credit cards worth like $2 million in creditors. I would not, by any stretch of the imaginations, ask you to do that. I'm just asking you to do these simple steps. And if you follow these tactics, in most cases, you're probably going to pick up at least 100 points plus. Okay. Here's another area that a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot: collections and paying them off. Okay. We're going to go back to that true credit report that you got at the beginning of this to give us our benchmarks. What we're going to do is we're going to go through there and look at any collections. So let's say you have a medical collection. We're not going to look at the balance at this point, because basically the algorithms of the credit system read that it is a collection last active date. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to check that last active date. If it's 2018 right now. If that last active date is 2018, you're most likely going to have to settle and pay that off. And I'll give you some tricks on that in a second. But if it says 2010, I don't want you doing anything. Okay. I don't want you paying it off, because by paying it off, it's just going to take that most recent transaction date and change it from 2010 to 2012. Your scores are going to go down. Okay. That's another area where a lot of people get misinformed. So we want to see your last active dates. And then closing accounts. I don't want you closing any accounts, especially if you don't have a lot of accounts. And what I mean by a lot of accounts is, say, 10 creditors. If you have 3 or 4, do not close any accounts. If they're charging you a couple $100 a year to keep them open, you might want to think twice and maybe even keep those open if you only have a couple creditors. But if you have 10 or 12, go ahead and close it out. So in conclusion, what I want you to do is get your credit report so we know our benchmarks. And then we want to go through your high credit limits, call and get those upped. We want to go through your collection accounts, see when they're last active. We want to see if you have very limited credit, you can't really get any more, if mom or dad will let you become an authorized user on the account. Don't even give you a card if they want to play that safe. Don't pay off any collections. We're going to check those dates on when those transpired. So these are huge tips that I asked you to spend maybe $30 on getting your credit report. That's it. So again, what I'll post down below a website that I want you to go to. You can get a free report once a year, but I would strongly suggest you click the My FICO tab down below. You order your own credit report to give us that benchmark. Also, if you have collections, judgments, a lot of misinformation on your credit report and things like that, down below is a link to a company that's AAA in the Better Business Bureau, and they can help you. Their job is to help you get those miscellaneous, that bad information off of your credit report and get you onto a better path. So I hope you like this video. Again, if you do, please subscribe below. And if I could be of any help, my information is down below, but you can reach me. I'm in the Chicagoland area. Again, my name is Dan Frio. My phone number is 630-338-1160. You can find me on the web at themortgageupdate.net. And you can just Google Dan Frio and I'll come up all over the place. I've been doing this for over almost 30 years now. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and please leave some comments below. Thank you, and God bless.